Hey, my name is Dr. Steven Judson, and I feel like this is a video I've been thinking about over the past 2 weeks. And for those of you that have been on social media and you see what's happening with all the awareness about the government, the state organizations trying to take away religious exemption from unvaccinated children. And in the state of Connecticut alone, there's only about 1.5% of the kids that are not fully vaccinated. The ones that are fully not vaccinated, a lot of times choose either medical exemption or philosophical or religious exemption, let's say, is the one in Connecticut. And the reasoning a lot of times behind it's not about religion, but it's about freedom. It's about freedom of choice and a personal belief that, when you look what's inside of these things and not putting them into your children and realizing if the majority of these kids are all vaccinated, then what's the risk? If the vaccines work, an unvaccinated child is no risk. But what the government's trying to do now is they're trying to mandate that all these kids have to be vaccinated, otherwise they can't go to school. Your kid is pulled out of school. It's happened in California. It's happened in New York. And now they're looking to reverse those rulings because some of these senators that actually wrote the bill, they have grandchildren that are getting vaccine injured. And they're saying, you know what? The government should not be making medical decisions for families or how we choose to handle our body and put in our body, and we should not be forced, man. This is America. End of story. And when we start telling our people what they have to do and what they can't do, that becomes communism. And that's not what our country was believed on. We always said in God we trust, and a lot of people don't believe in God. That's your personal belief system, but that's what that's what our country was built on. And, Iwo Jima, our guys raising the flag, man, they risked our lives so we could argue and we could fight each other. But this issue to me is about freedom. I think about people like Martin Luther King, who filled the streets with people with purpose and passion and a belief system. And you look at someone like Rosa Parks, who says, I'm not getting up. I'm sitting right here. This is my freedom. You're not moving me because of my color. I'm no longer going to the black person's bathroom. I'm going to any bathroom I want. They stood up for freedom. And now you want to take kids and have to mandate them, force them to drug themselves if they choose not to. Choose not to. And the argument is they're not a risk for anybody. I mean, if the argument is, well, what about the immunosuppressed people, these kids that have cancers and stuff? Are they walking around high school right now? Maybe they shouldn't be, right? And if you feel like there's an outbreak, 30 kids come down with the measles, mumps, rubella, which the majority of them were vaccinated already, then keep my kid home. If you feel there's an issue with it for that day or that week of school. But do not kick them out of school. Do not kick them out of school. Me personally, my kids are captains of teams. They're high honors. They're healthy, vibrant children. But for everyone, even if your child's fully vaccinated, know this one thing, because this is not really a vaccine issue. This is a freedom of choice, freedom of America. Because understand this, they go ahead and pass this. Every single parent's now a risk for their children. You're not up to date on all your shots that these kids are getting. You don't have 72 plus shots. You had 10 or 12 when you're younger. Those titers are now going to be negative. You're going to have to go back and get more shots. Are you ready to line up and get stuck 72 plus times to catch up with your own child? Because here's what they're talking about. If you're not up to date, you don't get your driver's license. You're not going to get your Social Security money. You're not going to be able to leave. You're not going to be able to travel. What kind of sense does that make in this amazing country of America that we're going to start telling people what they have to do? Now, here's the irony of the whole thing. I just came back from Spain, and I'm standing in Newark Airport in international space watching thousands of people getting off planes coming into my country. They're coming to visit. Are we stopping them all there, building a wall and telling them, are you up to date? Because if you're not, you're a risk to all of us. Where do we draw the line? And one of the things I'll throw out there is I've seen these states voting, is it's almost like it's become a Democrat versus Republican thing. The Democrats are all voting, yeah, let's do it, and the Republicans are saying, no, we got to keep the freedom. Guys, let's get over this political bullshit, this whole us against you. Let's get back to the American flag. What built this country and our freedoms as human beings, when we all put our head down at night, you're all people, we're all people. Whether it's blue or red side. But let's not jack up the children. Let's give them a chance. Do your own research on what damage this stuff could cause to the brain, and go talk to families who have vaccine-injured children. Go ahead. You want to fight the research and everything. I've talked to hundreds of families, hundreds of kids that have damaged, which has helped me make my choices. You make your choice, but just don't take away my freedom to have a choice. Don't take away my kids' freedom to go to school with their friends and hang out with their friends. That's not what America was built on. Do you want to be that guy or woman to vote on this and shut it down? And now kids are lining up and getting injured. What's that going to result in? So at the end of the day, what would Rosa Parks do, guy? What would Martin Luther King do? They're lining up in the streets. And that's what it's come down to. That's what they just did in Jersey. Thousands of people at the Capitol. Thousands lining the streets for hours. Are we going to let the insanity continue? Or are we going to step up as Americans and wake up and take care of each other and give our choice freedom and keep America free? God bless you. I love this country. Let's not freaking ruin it, baby. Tell a friend.